Hey guys. All right, I'm back. We're building the Beetlejuice house and we're doing it my way, okay? And those are plans. And that's a box. That's an Amazon Prime cardboard box, which you guys know I like to build everything out of because I have a lot of it. Anyways, so this required a lot of planning and measuring, which I did ahead of time. And then I put it all on there. And then I cut it all out. And this was a very time-consuming process. So let's just speed it up just a bit so we can get through this because it's very boring. This was definitely one of the more difficult builds that I've done, but I think I say that every time. I have a habit of like trying to outdo myself with every new build. And I know one of these days it's going to bite me bad because I honestly don't think I can outdo this one. This one turned out pretty amazing. Oh, okay. So there's all my pieces. Cut them all out. Now we got to go through the process of cutting. Oh, I already did it. So I cut all the windows. Yep, that happened. And now we're going to trim out all of our windows. So I'm just using that soft balsa wood. And I'm literally just measuring it. Not measuring. I'm just holding the piece up there, cutting it to size, and sticking it in there. That's what I'm doing. And I go through all of the windows. I won't show them all to you, but this is basically the process. You build the internal frame first, right? And then I'm using some super glue. Getting those just right. Spray some Instaset on there. Fantastic. Now, the little circle windows. Like, I couldn't use wood for that, so I decided to use some squishy foam, so I have all this super thin foam that I end up using later in the build. And so I use some of that to kind of try and create like an internal frame for the circle window, which it turned out a little lumpy. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't great, but you know what? Whatever. It worked in a pinch. Okay. Now we got to do man, these windows were there was a lot of windows. This was a very time consuming build, guys. So I'm using just toothpicks. Yeah, I used toothpicks for the internals. Yep, now we're moving on. Had to glue some pieces together using some hot glue, because I'm impatient. And we're getting that taken care of. Yep. What are we doing here? Oh, and then I had to build an external frame for my windows, my circle windows. And I decided to do it. That battery, I used the battery to try and create perfect circles when I cut them out originally. There's nothing perfect about this build though, so whatevs. It worked. So yeah, I cut you have to be very careful because that balsa wood, it'll like fall apart super easy when you're doing that. So there we go. Yeah, it's a little big. Yeah, it's actually way too big. But once it was there, I decided just to continue forward. I do that a lot. I go, good enough. Okay, moving on. All right, so look, we got internals and externals. Okay, so as I said, I used a lot of foam. So I used my handy-dandy foam cutter. Yep, that's right. And I just cut a lot of thin sheets of foam. Like a lot, guys. Because I covered the entire house in foam so I could texture it. That was my plan. Yep, that was how I was going to get that look on the outside. So many sheets later, here we are, okay? But before we can texture the outside of the house, we need to paint all of our window frames. That's right. So that's what we're doing. Painting everything white. Even the internal walls are all going to be white. Normally I do black, but I'm putting lights in this thing later, and I really wanted it to like be bright inside of the house, so I went with white. All right? So now we're making like the curved window. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it is. Guys, I don't know what it is. It's a curved window on the side of the house next to the stairs. I hope somebody will tell me what it's actually called. Like you guys usually do. You're so good to me. You tell me all the time when I get stuff wrong or when, I don't know what something is. You inform me, and I appreciate that. Even though I generally don't remember later, I still appreciate it. Like, just don't get frustrated when I don't remember, okay? I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, so building these teeny tiny windows. See, I curved it around like the two on the side and then put cardboard on the bottom, because that's like part of the wall like a pot. Actually, I don't think that cardboard's actually supposed to be there. If you look in the original pictures, it's not really there, but whatever, I did it that way. And it's done, and I'm doing this my way. So now we're moving on. We're gonna cut some windows out. That's right, and we're doing it the super professional way, just like this. Yep, all the different sizes. Yeah, look at that. Guys, it's so much faster to do it this way. Seriously. I know I'm smart, right? I'll probably do it that way forever. I mean, nobody's gonna like be looking at the inside. So if the windows look a little crappy on the inside or they just don't really fit, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're gonna glue that thing on there. I did cut the hole out first, obviously, and then I painted it. Look at that, looks great. So now we're gonna just continue gluing everything together. Now, something that I want to add now, because it's something that I forget every single time. When you make your measurements and you're cutting your walls, like, you have to account for the thickness of the cardboard, okay? Otherwise, everything is gonna be off like a 1/4 of an inch. I'm just saying. Just remember to account for the thickness of the cardboard, and one side or the other has to be trimmed, okay? I forget every time, and then I have to go back through and trim everything. It's annoying. I'm telling you guys, you know, so if you decide to do it, you can learn from my mistakes, because I make a lot of them, okay? That's what I'm here for. I make mistakes so you don't have to, right? Okay, so moving on. What are we doing now? We are still gluing pieces together. Guys, there is a lot to this house. Lots of rooms, lots of different sizes. Just, there was a lot, guys. A lot. So, yeah, in the end, like, it was a little conky. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't exactly square. But whatever, it's a Tim Burton house. And as we all know, Tim Burton doesn't do anything like square. Like every angle is funky. So I figure I could screw this up a lot and it would still look okay. So maybe that's why I like building Tim Burton stuff. Yep, I'm an imperfectionist. Is that a word? Imperfectionist? If it's not, it should be. Okay, so now that I got all of my walls glued together, I'm working on the roof, which was hard. And I just used that really thick, what's it called? Thick paper stock? Stock paper, whatever. I used the thick black stuff, all right? It's thicker than regular paper, and it holds up a little bit better, and it's easy to manipulate. So that's what I used. And then I just used tape to seal like my top edges, like I usually do, because I'm gonna cover everything in foam anyways. So who cares what's underneath? Oh, and we made that little thingy for the tower, and it is far from perfect. So it's great. So now I was trying to use a tool to put the glue on, but then the finger works better, guys. I don't care what anybody thinks of me anymore. Yep, we're just gonna use the finger. And then we're just going to glue all of our little thin sheets on, you know, cut them to size and glue those suckers on there. As you can see, I already textured the front of my tower. Yeah, I got distracted. And now I got distracted again, and now I'm going back to the roof because I get excited to do something, and so I jump in to do it, and then I realize I shouldn't be doing that because I should be doing this other thing first because it makes more sense. So this is why I'm all over the board, guys. I'm following the dopamine, like legit, okay? So, we're throwing some more foam on there, gluing our little bits and pieces together. Yeah, see, look at that. It's all covered in foam. Now it's time to texture. Yeah, like I did on the front there. Yeah, we're gonna do that everywhere. And we're gonna start with a razor blade. Why? Because this foam is like super thin, and if you just take a pencil and try to draw your lines, it might rip. It will rip. At least mine did. So I did a razor first, then I went back over it with a pencil to draw in those lines and just make it look more, substantial. I'm going to use that word today. So look at that. Looks fantastic. Yep. Just don't look too close. Okay? Yeah. So now we're going to do the foundation. with these stones. We decided to draw stones. We're just using a pencil for that because can't really use a razor. And over here, I decided I needed to cut the garage doors out because I forgot they existed, which is funny because later I go back and I totally changed this. This, guys, this house went through so many changes. Like, so many. All right. I got to this point right here, and I'm not going to lie, I hated it. Like, it was just, I don't know. It was so boring. I was bored. It was just boring, and I wanted to be done so bad. And I know better. When I get to a point in one of my builds where I just dislike it, like I have to be willing to make some changes. So after having a very long conversation with my sister, who is super smart, way smarter than me, she's a huge Tim Burton fan. She helped me kind of figure it out. She doesn't know that, but she did. Like, she informed me that I had to add the remodel stuff. I mean, I originally was just going to build the Maitland house, right? And I'm using some tinfoil there to, like make it look like actual stone. That's what I'm doing. All right. And then I'm going to come back with Mod Podge. But anyways, back to my story. So, because that's what's important, not the actual crafting. My story is more important. So she informed me that I couldn't just build the Maitland house. If I wanted it to be the Beetlejuice house, that I had to do the Deetzes family remodel. All right. Which I didn't want to do because I thought it looked dumb. Right. Oh, and in here I'm quickly making a chimney because I totally forgot about the chimney. So yeah, I'm gonna glue that together and sand it a little bit, and then I'm gonna take a razor blade and I'm gonna create that brick texture. Yep, see, right here. Yep. So back to the story. So anyways, she convinced me that I had to do the remodel stuff. You know, it needed to happen. And so I was like, all right, okay, fine, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it my way, okay? And you'll soon see what I mean by that. All right. Back to the build. Okay, so now we're gonna make some roofing for the little thingy-mabobber that goes on top of the tower. You know, the little roof thing, the whatever. So I'm using cardstock. Oh my God, that's what it's called, guys. It's called cardstock, not paper stock. Whatever. So we used a little wire brushy thingy, scratched them all up, and now we're using these cut through anything scissors. That's what I call them. They're called the cut through anything scissors, and they, those EMTs, first responders, they're the ones that use these scissors. Anyways, I don't know how I got them. Oh, yeah, I do. My husband gave them to me. He figured I needed to cut through anything. So I cut all those pieces up, and now I'm gonna stick them all on there, one by one. Yep, and it's a very time-consuming thing that I promise I won't show you all of. Okay, but I wanted it to look like, shingling, right? That's what it's called. Sorry, it took me a minute. I had a stroke. Okay, shingling. It's called shingling, and there it is. It's all done. It looks fantastic. I put a little piece of foam on top. Don't know why I did, but I thought it would look cool. So, and then I forgot about this thing. Okay, so this is the pop out, the pop out windows, which I now know the name of. Yeah, because of you wonderful people who have commented. There was several of you, and I'm looking at comments on my phone right now because I can't remember, but it's called a dormer. The window that pops out of the roof, it's called a dormer, y'all. Thank you, Kelly Penny 2996 for, that information. I very much appreciate you. Okay, so yeah, that was confusing. I put trim on and then I ripped it all back off because I hated it. And now I'm retrimming it. And I gave you the double thumbs up, which basically means, yeah, this looks so much better. Why didn't I do this the first time? Okay, so yeah, that's what we're doing. We're gonna go through and we're gonna trim the rest of the house out. Oh, looks like we're done. Okay, well, yeah, look at that, fantastic. Okay, we're gonna move on to the roof, which again, I am going to be using the super thin foam for. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, we're gonna glue all that on there, and then we're gonna flip it over and cut it, and wow, that went fast. And now we're gonna add some extra detail to everything, which again was foam. Yep, yeah. See, look at that, and yep, wow, fantastic, guys. I think wow, we're like done with that part. We're going to have to start painting. Like legit. I think it's time to paint. No, it's not. Sorry. Psych. Okay, we got to do the little details on top, right? So there's like this fancy thing that goes around the top. And so I just cut it out of whatever that other stuff was that you just saw me cut it out of with my cut anything scissors. That's what I did. Oh, we're going to add this little piece to the chimney because that's really important. And we can't do anything until that is done. We're going to paint now. Now remember, well, no, you wouldn't remember because I didn't tell you yet. But I went back and I also covered the entire roof in the Mod Podge water, okay? So the roof has also been Mod Podge watered, okay? Mod Podge, because there's no Modge, it's Mod. In case you didn't know. So we painted it white. Fantastic. And I actually did several layers of white because it just wasn't enough. So I added more white. Now we're gluing the base for our porch in, and we've already put some wood together and textured it. So that's done. Now, our door, we got to put a door in, you know. Doors have to happen. So, and then it's so dark. We're putting our porch posts. They're posts. We're putting those in. Those are in now. Yep. So we did that. Oh, we're going to paint all of our stonework like a dark, dark gray. Yeah. Yeah. So we're quickly getting to the point where I still hated it. Yeah. And you'll see. Yeah. All right. Everything's going to change soon, guys. All right. Look at that beautiful house. It's just boring. It's really pretty boring. I mean, it's cool, but it's still boring. Yeah. So we went ahead and we painted the porch rails too, even though that one is totally crooked, but it doesn't matter because later I'm going to fix it. Now we're going to do some dry brushing. I waited for it to dry. Don't worry. And now we're going to go back everything and we're going to dry brush all of our stonework. All of that. We're going to dry brush it. Yep. We're going to cover a lot of that stuff up later too, but whatever. Dry brush. I'm using like a gray, black with a little white and probably some burnt sienna because that's my favorite thing to use. I like to use it. Now we're really using a lot more burnt sienna because we're going to do like the brick color on the side. So we're going to dry brush all that brick color on there. Yep. Get that all on there. Beautiful. Fantastic. Okay. Now my favorite part, we're going to do the dirty washing everywhere, which is basically just acrylic paint watered down a lot. And I did plenty different colors. Yeah, I did a lot of different colors. Again, my white, my black, my burnt sienna, and I also added in some yellow ochre here and there to have like a yellowy look, right? So, yeah, I did that. Yeah, we're going to dirty wash everything. We use that little paper towel to dab when I get a little too carried away, which I do a lot of. So I started out, I was just going to make it real like just a little bit. I was just going to do a little bit and dab, and it was going to look great. And then the more dirty washing I did, the more I liked it. And then I decided that I needed to go overboard. That overboard was going to be the key to me liking my Beetlejuice house again because I don't like it. And I wanted to like it. So we're also going to dry brush that too. Yeah. It's a gray. Yeah. So it's a white and a black. I mix all my own colors, but I use basically the same colors over and over again. Looks great. Yep. See? Oh, we're going to glue it on. Fantastic. Just don't look too close. No, can't do that. But the roof looks great. So great that I decided I'm going to just keep going. We're just going to keep going with this dirty washing. Yep. Yeah, we're going to keep going. Keep making it look old and ugly and hideous and fantastic. It's beautiful. Yes. The more dirty washing you add, the better. Like the more I added, the more I liked it. So I just kept going. And that's the great thing about dirty washes is that you can always go back and add more. See? Look how great it looks. This is where it all changed, guys. You're watching the creation of art. See the tape? Yeah. This was my bright light bulb moment that I was going to destroy this house. And this was really hard to do at first, to cut into it. But I did it, and I'm so glad I did. I decided that It couldn't just be like an old rundown Beetlejuice house. It had to be like falling apart, like legitimately just destroyed. So I decided to just go through and cut a bunch of holes out of the house to, well, you'll see what I do. Yeah. And I used the tape because I wanted to be sure I liked the shape of whatever I was going to be doing. So yeah, and then I kind of like rip at it with my tweezers to make it look more legit, you know? Yeah, see, look at that. That looks cool. And now I'm just using some balsa wood, and I'm just like, I traced a little, yeah, got the shape right, and then I'm going to do this and make it look like boards. Yeah. Like this is like the skeleton part of the house. That's what we're doing. Yeah, so then I glue that sucker in there. Yeah. Oh, gosh. This was like my favorite. Once it was done and I realized that it was a winner, I was really happy with myself. Yep. And so then I'm going to add these little bits so it looks like the studs, you know, the skeleton, the wall, and the studs. Look at that. So it looks cool. I think it's cool. I hope you do too. But I did that, you know, here and there. I didn't want to go overboard. Like, I could have totally done it everywhere. Part of me thinks, like, I should have done a little bit more, but I didn't. And then I decided, okay, well, if we're going to do that, we're going to destroy everything. So I decided to just start cutting bits off of here and there and, like, cutting some of that out, too. We got to destroy that. We just took a razor, and we just went hog wild, cutting at it, tearing it apart, shredding it here and there, like... It was very satisfying to do this. So satisfying. See? Look. Yeah, looks great. It'll look even better once I throw some paint on there. Oh, yeah, we even did that on the side there. Yep. Yeah, see? Oh. Yes. Oh, and cut that stupid piece back there that was already crooked. See? Yes. Lovely. Beautiful. Just a little bit of damage here and there goes a long way. You know, you don't have to overdo it. Now we're going to go back and we're going to repaint, you know, all the bits where we cut it away. Well, we're going to add some dark paint there. And then we'll come back and we'll do a little dry brushing over the top of it. And so it'll look a little bit more realistic. So, yeah. I finally decided I liked my Beetlejuice house at this point. But I still had to add the remodel. Okay, so the remodel is still coming. I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do it, but I knew I needed to destroy it. It had to look awful. So that's what we did. A little bit of dry brushing to bring out those, you know, highlights and make it look just a little bit older. So here we are. I pre-built all these pieces. This is all the remodel, the Deetz family remodel pieces. Okay, I've pre-built all that, and honestly, I could have showed you that, but I was running out of time. It's just, this video is already long. So, okay. And I wanted to do something really cool with the stonework. So you remember the black and white stripies around the house? I decided that I was going to make it look like it was peeling back. It's really hard to explain. You know, just watch. Yeah. Just watch. It's going to make more sense. Yeah. So I took some Mod Podge and water, and I took this paper towel, and I just kind of Mod Podge watered it on there. Yeah, see, with the little brush, and I tried to make the ends look like they were flipping up, you know. Yeah, and I basically did this all over. Yeah, because my thought was it would be cool if it looked like the black and white stripes were peeling off. And I know it doesn't make any sense, because in the movie, I'm pretty sure the bricks were just painted black and white, but I didn't care because I wanted to do it like this, and it's my build. So that's why I did it. Okay? Yep. Following that dopamine. So, all right, now we're going to paint everything beautiful, beautiful, boring white. Just straight white, everything, and then we're going to come back and we're going to destroy it. So there's our long, ridiculously long porch. We painted some steps too. I made some steps out of foam. I didn't show you that because, well, I had to do some cutting. All right, literally. Now we're cutting. We're destroying. This is the part it's fun, but this thing was really delicate. So every time I tried to cut and break something on those, the whole thing just fell apart. So then I just ripped the whole thing apart and then re-glued everything after cutting and destroying it. yeah, it worked out great. You'll see. It'll look good. Trust me. Well, you already saw the picture, so you already know, but whatever. So this is what we did. We made it, then we destroyed it. Yeah. And honestly, guys, I told you that this project, right from the get-go, it just changed. It became its own thing. And I fought it sometimes, but then other times I just went with it. And you can just feel it when you're just going for it and just going with it, then it just kind of goes together. It really does. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling, but that's fine. Oh, we're painting now. So this was hard. This was hard to paint. It's all dried. Everything's been dried. Okay. And so now I'm painting it. The black and white stripes, I'm doing that. It's kind of fuzzy, isn't it? It's not, the video's not real great. It's not real focused, but that's okay. You guys get the point. You get the gist of it, right? So we're going to paint the paper towel with the black and white. And then we're going to paint the bricks separately. Yeah. So it kind of, you'll see. It'll look cool. So once all that dries, I'll go back and I'll dry brush that. But in the meantime, we're going to come over here and we're going to paint these things. I don't even know what to call these things. They're like the ugly triangle things. And then we're going to start doing some dirty washing. Yeah, we're going to dirty wash everything. Dirty it all up, make it look hideous and ugly and old and gross. Yeah, because that's when things really, really come together. Yep. So I have a little story to tell you, but I don't know if this is the right time. I mean, we're painting. Yes, I'm going to tell you real quick. Okay, so originally, I just was going to build the Maitland house. Well, I Googled everybody else's Beetlejuice houses, and I realized that everybody's was really, really good. And so I had to do something special with my house. I had to have like a finale, something that was, that made it special. So my claim to fame was going to be invisible UV paints. Okay, so I was going to finish the whole build, slap some invisible paint on there, turn on a black light, and voila, it was going to be epic, right? So that was kind of my finale that I had planned, my surprise, okay? Which I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Let's get back to the build. Okay, so real quick, we are throwing down some sculpt mold. I decided that I was going to build this correct. I was going to do this the legit way. And in the videos, it sits on a hill. Obviously, in the movie, it sits on a hill, and it kind of comes down in the driveway. And so I decided I was gonna make more changes so I could like it. Oh, right here we're gluing in lights. Yeah, we put all the lights in. See, I kind of tried to show you how it slopes down in the driveway. So I decided to add more bricks to make it look legit. So I added onto the foundation. I went through, I Mod Podged it, and then I went through and I painted it. All right. Now we're adding our wrapped stones around the outside. Some of the remodel. We'll come back and we'll add more bits later. So here I'm just gluing down the random bits and pieces of foam that I have, trying to build up the outside of the house. Kind of give it that sloped down look. As you can see, I shaved a ton off. Oh, here we're adding the final garage doors, which make much more sense now that I've sloped the driveway. And we're just going to continue adding this sculpt mold and finish the whole area off, right? So back to my story about the UV paints. So I decided to do all of that, blah, 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 blah. Now we get to this point where I'm like, my house is already so cool. Like I'm kind of content with it. And I feel like I don't need that extra finale at the end, like the UV paints. I don't need it, right? So I get done with the build and I'm getting ready to do like the final spinny spin, right? And then I'm like, I'm looking at my UV paints and I'm looking at my $30 black light and I'm like, I can't just waste it. So I decided, all right, well, let's just see what it looks like. So I went through the house, I rummaged everywhere. I found 6 AA batteries, stuck it in my little black light, took some of the paint, slapped it on there, and I turned on that black light, and I was just so let down. It was not near as cool as I thought it was going to be, right? Oh, here we're gluing some bits onto, I forgot some bits. All right. So that's what I'm doing there. I forgot some bits. I'm fixing that. So anyways, so I turn the light on and I'm like, I'm really let down because it's not near as bright as I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I just need to add more paint. So I did. I slapped some more paint on there. And speaking of paint, I am now painting all of my base a dark brown, as you can see. Yeah, so back to the story. Slap some more paint on there, turn on the light. It still sucked. I was still let down, still sad. I got to thinking, all right, I wonder if the batteries in my blacklight are not even any good. Because I have this bad habit of throwing bad batteries back in the bin because I don't know if they're still good. All right, so I ran to the store, got me some more batteries, slapped those suckers in there, flipped that switch on, and voila, lo and behold, it worked like a charm. The paints were bright. But my new problem was the paints were everywhere, and it looked like crap. Total crap. Oh, real quick. We're adding some Mod Podge and water, and we're throwing down some dirt, some Montana dirt using the cup and nylon trick that I learned from Mr. Luke Towen, which is awesome. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna cover all that. Oh, and we're gonna add some thicker chunks of dirt next to the foundation to make it look like rocks. All right. So back to the story. All right. So I where was I? Oh yeah, new batteries, worked like a charm. It was beautiful, but now it's just I didn't plan it. I didn't plan what I was going to paint or how I was going to paint it. I just slapped it on there and I realized it looked like crap. So then I thought, all right, well maybe I could just add more paint. So I did. I kept slapping more paint on it, and it went from bad to worse real quick. And by the time I was done, I just well, it looked awful. It did. It looked absolutely awful. And I was like, it's okay. Nobody needs to know they did this. It's invisible. Nobody will ever know, right? So we'll just pretend it didn't happen, okay? So, oh, real quick, we're adding some blended turf now. Yeah, we're gonna start with the green stuff, and then we're gonna start with the leafy stuff, and we're just gonna cover everything with this. Yeah, and then we'll come back with bushes. Gotta have bushes. So, anywho, yeah, I was like, okay, nobody needs to know that I did this. We're just going to pretend. We're going to pretend it never happened, right? But then I got to thinking, what if at the end, look at me cleaning. Aren't you proud? I actually cleaned up after myself. Yep. Oh, we're going to glue stuff on. Okay, I'll come back to the story. Hang on. So, yeah, we're going to glue on all of our bits and pieces. There's our funky porch. We got some funky stairs that are destroyed and this stupid add-on stuff that looks much better like that. It looks better. And look, yep, that looks better too. It all looks fantastic. Turned out great. Much better that way. Don't you admit? Don't you guys agree? Not admit. Agree. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. I'm happy. Now, oh yeah, we got to add the destroyed railing. Yeah, there's that. Okay. So, okay, real quick, back to the story. Oh, no, we got to talk about what we're doing. The build. We're back to the build. We're going to paint the rocks. We're going to paint the dirt clumps because they've dried. We're going to paint them a dark gray, and then we'll come back and dry brush them to make them look like real rocks. Okay, that's what we're doing. Back to the story. So I decided that it might be kind of funny if I have like this epic build, this masterpiece, this beautiful art project that looks amazing, all right? And then like all of a sudden all the lights go out, right? And this black light comes on. And it looks like a bunch of kindergartners went at it with a bunch of crayons, and it just looks awful. Just absolutely hideous. So yeah, I decided that that's what I was going to do. Yep. So you'll see. Okay, so back to the build. All right. We're going to add some clumpy, bushy foliage along with some coarse turf. All Woodland Scenic stuff. I've collected all of it over time. And those are like funky trees. And I think they're also Woodland Scenics. I'll have to double check that. But I just add some glue down, throw in some bushes. Now, my trick to making this stuff look realistic is I add lots of different stuff to it. So I put the bushes down, and then I add some like burnt grass over the top of that. Lots of different colors. because otherwise it just doesn't really look real. And then I go back over it with some alcohol, and then some more Mod Podge and glue, watered down. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mod Podge and glue. Mod Podge is the glue. And then I water it. Anyways, you guys get you get what I'm saying. All right? Yeah. So add some burnt stuff over the top of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. The more color variation you have going on, the more realistic it's going to look. See? And alcohol and glue. And then these little tree things. Yeah. That I break apart. And oh my gosh, we're done. All right. Well, here's the final shots, guys. I'm just going to let you enjoy this. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah. Okay. So thanks for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Seriously, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for coming back and watching more. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. All right. Until next time. Okay. Bye.